It was a Tuesday. Not the kind of day wars start, but when I backed out of our gravel driveway and found a 6-foot fence, blocking the only road in and out of our family ranch, something in me snapped. At first, I thought it was a prank, some twisted April Fool's joke in the wrong season. But the metal sign screwed into the fresh wood made it clear. Private access. Property of Meadowbrook. HOA. No trespassing. No exceptions. Funny thing? We don't live in Meadowbrook. Never have. Never signed anything. We've owned this land for 3 generations. Long before those stucco castles popped up half a mile down the hill. So how the hell did the HOA build a fence across our road? I stared at it, heart thudding, unsure whether to laugh or explode. Then I heard Grandpa's tractor start. It was louder than usual, lower, meaner, like a beast coughing back to life after years of sleep. That's when I knew. This wasn't going to end with a lawyer or a polite phone call. This was about to become a war. And Grandpa? He wasn't just ready. He was built for it. Our ranch sits on the edge of what used to be open country. Rolling hills, broken fences, and the kind of sunsets you only see in postcards. Grandpa bought the land in the 60s with GI Bill. Money and a dream of staying as far from bureaucracy as possible. Then the sprawl came. McMansions, gated communities, trimmed lawns with plastic flamingos and golf carts driven by people who thought a shovel was a decorative wall piece. One of those neighborhoods, Meadowbrook, had crept its way up the ridge like mold. For years they kept to themselves. But then came Karen. Her real name was Linda Cartwright, HOA president, and full-time busybody with the emotional range of a fax machine. She moved in 2 years ago and immediately launched a crusade to beautify the area, which apparently meant suing anyone who wasn't part of her committee. Her beef with us started small, a letter complaining about our unregulated gravel road. Then it escalated to citations for unauthorized tree height and dust interference. We laughed it off. After all, we didn't belong to her HOA. That road, it ran across our deeded land. But Linda didn't care. She began lobbying the county to absorb our road into Meadowbrook's jurisdiction. We caught wind of it during a zoning meeting where Grandpa rolled in wearing overalls and a Vietnam vet hat, chewing on a toothpick like it was war rations. They backed off, for a while, until that Tuesday. Grandpa was sipping coffee when I came in breathless. They fenced the road. He didn't say a word, just stood up, walked outside, and stared down the hill. The metal gate gleamed in the morning sun like some medieval barricade. I tried calling the HOA. They refused to answer. I emailed the county. They claimed it was under review. That night, we found a legal notice duct taped to our mailbox. It claimed emergency protective action had been taken to secure Meadowbrook, community roads from external traffic. Except we weren't traffic. We were the ones who built that road. The next morning, we found tire tracks on our side of the fence and boot prints near our water pump. Someone had trespassed. They'd been on our land. That was the final warning. Grandpa dusted off an old folder marked easement rights, but even as he read through it, I could tell he wasn't interested in courts anymore. And the rumble from the barn confirmed it. The dozer was waking up. The next week was madness. The HOA doubled down. A sign appeared. Non-HOA vehicles will be towed. They stationed a private security car at the base of the hill. Yes, security. In a subdivision with lawn flamingos. I tried reasoning with the security guy. You know this road isn't theirs, right? He shrugged. They pay me to watch it, not question it. Karen, sorry, Linda, was strutting around with a clipboard and camera, documenting every inch of the fence as if expecting a Pulitzer for pretending to own dirt. She sent us a bill, $743 for fence construction, itemized. I called the sheriff. He was sympathetic but tied up in red tape. You'll need a judge's order, he said. HOA's claiming it's a community risk mitigation structure. So they blocked the only road to our house and claimed we were the risk? One morning I woke to find Linda and 2 HOA board members measuring our ditch. Grandpa stood on the porch with a mug labeled, "Was Grandpa?" and didn't say a word, just watched. That night the gate was padlocked shut, and someone had slashed our mailbox. Grandpa called a meeting. Just me, him, and the bulldozer. Easement says we've got legal access to that road. Yeah, and they're trespassing on our deeded land. Yep. He took a breath, slow and heavy. You got the drone still? I nodded. Get me footage. Tomorrow, I'm rolling that thing down their pretty little plastic road like it's 1968 and the jungle's made of vinyl siding. I grinned. Justice was coming, with diesel fumes and hydraulic arms. That night I flew the drone from the back pasture. I captured every inch of the fence, from our side, from above, and from the HOA's private road leading up to it. Then we dug out the paperwork. A recorded easement, filed in 1972. It was dusty, notarized and ironclad. While I printed copies, Grandpa made calls. He didn't phone lawyers. He called neighbors. Turns out we weren't the only ones steamrolled by Linda and her clipboard. There was Pastor Jim down the hill, fined for parking his church van within visual range of a mailbox. There was old Mrs. Green, issued a citation because her rose trellis invited non-native birds. They were tired. And Grandpa? He had something better than lawyers. He had unity. By noon the next day, a dozen neighbors gathered on our side of the fence. They brought coffee, lawn chairs, popcorn. At 1:07 p.m. the bulldozer's engine roared to life. It wasn't fast. It didn't need to be. It rolled over the hill like it was reclaiming ancient land. Linda came running, flailing her arms like a malfunctioning windmill. "You can't do this! This is HOA property." Grandpa didn't flinch. He drove right up to the fence, paused, lowered the blade, and said, "This land's been free longer than your HOA's been alive." Then the blade dropped, and the fence crumbled. The crash of the fence was poetic, not chaotic, not violent, just final. Splinters flew, posts snapped. The shiny new "no trespassing" sign got buried under a rolling tire that hadn't seen action since Reagan was president. Linda screamed into her phone, "Call the police!" Already done. I had phoned the sheriff 20 minutes prior. When he arrived, he took one look at the easement paperwork, sighed and said, "Well, I hope you kept the receipt for that fence, ma'am." She went pale. The sheriff motioned to his deputy, "Take photos, and let the county office know they're gonna need to review Meadowbrook's encroachment claims." The neighbors erupted in applause. Grandpa dismounted the bulldozer like a hero off a war tank. Linda tried to argue. But a community safety." Sheriff raised a brow. "Safety? You trapped residents on private property. That's not community. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen." And just like that, the power flipped. The HOA board quietly voted to remove Linda 2 weeks later. Fence? Gone. Legal fees? All on them. Grandpa? Well, he hung a piece of the broken fence above the barn door, framed it, called it Freedom Plank. It's been 6 months. The road's still open. The fence never came back. Linda? Rumor has it she moved to Arizona, a different HOA. May God help them. Grandpa? He hasn't touched the bulldozer since. He says it only wakes when it's truly needed. Neighbors still talk about the day he rolled down the hill like a diesel-fueled cowboy. Sometimes justice doesn't wear a suit or wait on paperwork. Sometimes it drives a bulldozer and carries a folder older than the HOA itself. And sometimes the best way to protect your land is to remind the world who actually owns it. So here's my takeaway. Stand your ground, know your rights, and never ever underestimate a grandpa with time, paperwork, and machinery. Oh, and maybe don't mess with a family road that's older than your HOA bylaws. Let me know in the comments. What would you have done if they blocked your only way out? Would you have called a lawyer or rolled up like Grandpa? And if you made it this far, comment. Justice served by Dozer, so I know you're part of the crew who believes in standing up, no matter how tall the fence is.